The search for a missing Illinois woman in the floodwaters of Pike County continues. We'll have more details. Plus, Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz is this week's guest on Monday with the Mayor, and host Bill Potter is back tonight with another episode of Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin this evening with the ongoing search for an Illinois woman who went missing yesterday after she was swept away by floodwaters in northern Pike County. Indiana conservation officers say at about 7:45 yesterday morning, waterfowl hunters saw a vehicle driven by 35-year-old Adam McGill of Des Plaines, Illinois, go southbound as it attempted to navigate through floodwaters along State Road 257 near the Pike and Davies County line. The vehicle was swept off of the roadway, and conservation officers say the hunters drove their boat to the area where they had last seen the vehicle. The hunters heard screams for help and rescued Adam McGill. However, his wife, 31-year-old Catherine McGill of Des Plaines, was not found. Adam was taken to Davies Community Hospital and was later taken to St. Mary's Hospital in Evansville for treatment of hypothermia. Water-based search efforts, including bank searches, side-scan sonar, and canine searches, among others, were underway throughout the day yesterday. Those search efforts resumed this morning after concluding for the day at dusk yesterday. The Davies County Sheriff's Department, the Pike County Sheriff's Department, Harrison Fire Department, Jefferson Township Fire Department, Southwest Medical, Pike County EMS, Pike County EMA, Ohio Valley Search and Rescue, American Red Cross, and Indiana conservation officers all responded to the scene. Now, Indiana conservation officers strongly encourage obeying road closing signs and avoiding driving through flooded roadways. We will bring you more details on this story when those are made available to us. A water-related crash in Crawford County claimed the life of a Harrison County man over the weekend. Just before 7 p.m. on Saturday evening, Crawford County Dispatch received a call from someone who had seen a vehicle driven by 62-year-old John Vasha of Ramsey leave the highway as he was driving along State Road 64 near Tazewell. Vasha's vehicle then went into a nearby pond after leaving the roadway. Members of the English Volunteer Fire Department were first to the scene and extricated Vasha, who was unresponsive. Vasha was airlifted to Harrison County Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Conservation officers say an autopsy that was performed yesterday afternoon showed that Vasha died due to cardiac arrest that he had suffered before he entered the water. Indiana conservation officers responded to the scene with divers, and the Crawford County Sheriff's Department, Indiana State Police, and Crawford County EMS also assisted. Settlement has now been reached in a 2010 lawsuit filed against the Evansville Catholic Diocese in a rape case. The agreement on the case was reached in Davies County Circuit Court earlier this month. The lawsuit, which was filed by Sylvia Gameros, also included employees of the diocese and the Catholic community of Washington. Gameros alleged in the lawsuit that church officials asked her to cover up the rape of her developmentally disabled daughter back in 2007. Under the settlement, claims against the Catholic community of Washington, the diocese, and employees Sister Karen Durliet, Conde Batz, and Jorge Gomez were all dismissed. Default judgment was issued against Freddie Mendez Morales, and he pled guilty back in 2009 to raping Gameros' then 23-year-old daughter during a November 2007 abstinence retreat at the former St. Mary's School. Mendez Morales received a 10-year prison sentence and was also ordered to pay over $1 million to Gameros and her daughter for pain and suffering, both physical and emotional. Federal Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials say Mendez Morales was deported back to his home country of El Salvador back in 2010. The original lawsuit alleged that the church attempted to cover up the incident, as I mentioned. It was alleged that Mendez Morales and the girl had sex in a bathroom at the St. Mary's Catholic School while others were sleeping. Court documents state that Durliet and Batz contacted Gameros the next morning to tell her of the encounter. Gameros' complaint alluded to a conversation in which a church official allegedly suggested that the daughter take a morning after pill. The Gameroses then went to Memorial Hospital in Jasper, where one of the nurses called state police after evidence suggesting a rape was found. Mendez-Morales contended that the sex was consensual. However, because the victim, who is now in her late 20s, is developmentally disabled, state law says that a person can be charged with rape if the other person is not capable of granting consent. Gamaros and her daughter left the area and now live near Louisville. Gomez was killed in a crash in Tulsa, Oklahoma back in 2011, while Batts and Derliot are currently employed at the diocese's Spanish Outreach Ministry in Huntingburg. Finally this evening, state officials are expecting construction work to start next year on another phase of the Interstate 69 extension through southern Indiana. The State Highway Department is planning to select a contractor in March for work on a 21-mile section of the highway that will generally follow the current Indiana 37 corridor from south of Bloomington to the southern edge of Martinsville. INDOT spokesman Will Wingfield says that much of the work will involve building interchanges and overpasses as the route is transformed to interstate standards. Wingfield says the route will present some challenges as it is being built.
There's a lot of work involved, even though there is an existing four-lane divided highway there, and you know, different. You know, there's an urban section. There's also a rural section and part to it as well. So it is a unique project.
Wingfield says despite these challenges, the project will continue to move forward.
We've been marching progressively northward with environmental studies, then design and land acquisition, and then finally construction. So right now we're under construction on Section 4. We've got Sections 1, 2, and 3 open, of course, and then you know, we're doing the process of design and land acquisition for Section 5. So we just plan to continue to move northward. The governor's made it very clear that he intends to finish what we started with I-69 to Indianapolis, and we're doing what we can to fulfill that goal.
Now, Wingfield says the completion target for Section 5 is the end of 2016. The first 3 sections of the new I-69 opened last year from Evansville to the Crane Naval Surface Warfare Center to the southwest of Bloomington. The section between Bloomington and Crane is set to open potentially late next year. All right, coming up after the break, Jasper's Terry Seitz joins me for Monday with the Mayor, plus your local forecast, sports with me, and tonight's edition of Inform. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.